such, all you granted me was lust. And what I seemed to grow was lust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? My might and my angel's wings have been bruised and restrained. Those who break to blood are so fumes in vain. So believe in me and collect. I'm your leader today. Rise! So scream for me, little sister. Wanna leave you for another mister. Leave you in a pool of water. The water is my alma mater.
Then I'm assuming we're live?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
All right. In that case, welcome back, everyone, to our next episode of Here Be Dragons. And without further ado, who will be giving our recap?
Oh,
I can
God.
do it.
What
No
is
one else
it?
wants to.
Yeah, my notes were rather selfish last session.
It was a lot. Half of
It
my
was
notes.
a lot of
oh,
you.
Half
It was
of
a
my
lot of
notes.
you
You.
and partial
So,
me.
got it. Okay, so
Sorry.
You're
It's-
fine.
next up in our collection of dreams is cheese, and she's like, "Oh, I'm surrounded by nothing. That's not cool." So it's just like, "Well, it doesn't have to be nothing. All you gotta do is think." She does the big thunk, and is able to eventually, after a little bit of difficulty, she has some trouble with the thinking. Makes a
It's
grotto
very
that
difficult for
resembles
her.
something resembles a grotto that she is very familiar with. There's a bunch of fireflies. She goes to high five a firefly. It turns into a ball of moonlight instead, and it pisses in her hand. Then, but it's radiant piss. It's very good. It says that it's holy stuff of Salune, which comes from
Holy
moonboats. He says, "I can't teach you no more. Someone else will have to." So Cheese follows a trail of moonboats. So she's in an open glen full of beautiful trees. Touches one of them, it's very smooth. She's a lake. Approaches the lake, and in the lake, the moon has three reflections: one of an eclipsed moon, one of a blood moon, and one of a glistening blue moon. Cheese drops the liquid in it. The power of the moon's emboldens. The blue is calm, the eclipse is neutral, and the blood moon is power. Cheese attempts to drink from the lake, but it falls through her fingers. She decides to reach for the eclipsed moon, gain some sort of power from it. She tries to hold and keep it. The pearl of moon liquid is back in her hand. Turns to the world with the droplet in her hand. Sapphire is next, is mesmerized by the sight, so let's ask what she knows of her heritage, and then explains a part of the origin of the elves, how they came from the Feywild. offers to help her learn some of how to use some of her ancestors' fey magic. She focuses inward, feels something within. She feels what would be a fraction of a latent power, but has some trouble grasping it. She tells Zulus this. He says to harness, not grasp. She tries. It's difficult, but it does eventually respond. But she'll need further training to properly harness it. The group awakens from their lessons. Revelin gives the group 15 platinum each. The group decides to return to Waterdeep, but is briefly stopped by the rebels, informing us they will be setting camps close by. They give us our own camp space, and that is where we end.
Ruford never change.
Holy
All
piss.
right.
Or do. You don't have to listen to her.
I, as a man raised by a single mother, I have found listening to women is a must because otherwise they beat.
Oh.
That might get Rec in trouble on Twitch.
No.
no.
it only
It's,
gets-
it's a woman hitting a, it's a woman hitting a man. It's fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's not
Oh,
wrong.
dear Christ.
It's not
No, he's
wrong,
not.
and that's the sad thing.
okay. Anyway, so a lot of you find a nice little spot to make camp for the night. And with it being, I'm assuming that none of you are really interested in taking a watch. There's plenty of people around. You can plainly see other campfires of both the Corpse Remembrance and other individuals.
Corvus tries as his routine, but his exhaustion takes over him and he just collapses.
Okay.
Oh.
Does he collapse on the hammock?
He doesn't sleep at the hammock.
Hmm.
Sorry, where's Corvus sleep?
By the dock.
By the dock? Okay, over
Yeah.
here.
By my own dock that I made myself.
Yeah, where's everyone going to be taking a nap? I would like you to place your tokens there if you could. So I have an idea.
Exactly
my-
where she is currently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in my tent.
Okay, so like right there.
I need to
Rude.
be next to
But yes.
this smithing kit that's not actually here yet.
Okay.
Yeah. She sleeps in her tent, but she keeps one of the tent like side flaps open, so it can get moonlight.
What about
Corvus is
Lyari?
using-
Where is he sleeping?
Okay.
Sorry, Corvus, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's like a small light in Corvus's tent, so people think he is sleeping in the tent, but he's actually sleeping outside using his cloak as natural camouflage.
Let me tab out of my stats homework. Do
That's-
calculator. At some point. Where is the Roach Money? There's Roach Money.
No matter what, Lyari has to be next to someone.
You underestimate my ability to find a way to be antisocial.
That's Corvus's job.
It is.
You say that. Easy clap. Just done. You can't.
You go across the bridge, and instead of being next to Sapphire, you are
Okay, but you challenged me.
from her.
You said I had to be next to someone. I'm not next to anyone now. I'm
Okay,
next to the
so
tree.
is this where you were actually sleeping, or is that just a joke?
Whichever tent is mine, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll just assume it's that
Also,
one.
you could have just
Okay.
gone to the fucking island.
A tent.
All right. So that's where you are. I should probably actually put both of them on here, shouldn't I? Yes, I should. Well, actually, no, just the one. Okay. So, a lot of you, after attending to whatever matters you need to in camp, settle down for the night, ready for a peaceful and honestly very restful and relaxing sleep for once. Okay. Well then, to start with, you, cheese.
Oh, me!
Yes, as you drift, as cheese, as you drift off to sleep, you start to experience a very familiar dream. As you begin to rush around your honestly rather nice little abode, you rush past dozens of different windows. Each one displays a different scene. Running to one specifically. Very excitedly, you know you've done this countless times before. And you've set yourself down in front of one of these windows. What it displays is just a very small little moonlit glen. There's a well there. It looks fairly old, but still in decent shape. And you sit there and you wait. And you wait for a good little while. Until eventually you see one individual slowly and hesitantly emerge from the brush. He seems rather young. You have a hard time kind of telling what he is exactly, except he's humanoid of some variety. He walks very cautiously out into the glen and sits on the well, waiting for something. Shortly after him, another figure emerges from the brush behind him, and she creeps up very, very slowly before reaching across the well and placing both her hands to cover his eyes, very playfully. As soon as he realizes who it is, the two of them jump up, cross around to the middle of the well, and give each other a warm embrace. After a little bit, they begin to chat, and this is what you've been waiting for. This is what you've been coming here to watch. After a while, the young woman takes her shoes off, and the two of them begin to dance as you've seen them so many times before in the moonlight of this little glen. You're not sure why you find it so interesting, but it is fascinating to you, and their dance truly is beautiful. It's clearly something that they have practiced at. You continue to watch for quite some time, until you become conscious of something else you can see in this window. You're not sure what it is at first, but there is something else that you can see just on the edge of this glen. As you focus deeper and deeper, trying to piece together what this is, you make out a shape silently moving in the shadows. Coming closer, you recognize the posture of, well, for lack of a better term, a predator. Sneaking closer and closer. And you feel your heart leap into your throat. Without hardly even a second thought, you leap through the window out of your humble home and straight out into this glen, just as another individual comes screaming out of the brush. The two you've been watching are very startled as you impact this individual and send them rocking and rolling across the ground. The couple very quickly flee in terror at the fact that this two individuals have leapt out of nowhere and impacted each other in the middle of this glen. You're a little upset by that, but you weren't about to just sit back and watch. As you stand and gain your bearings, feeling the new surroundings, the new cool night air that you hadn't felt before. You stare ahead of you, and picking himself up from the ground is this kind of handsomely dressed man, but definitely you can see based off of the markings on his scale mail, that he is very clearly he is not harmless. He looks at you and cocks his chin to the side, cracking it a little bit with his hand. Well, I hope you have something to say for yourself for spoiling my hunt. Or perhaps I should have to teach you a lesson. Without saying a word, you feel yourself tense up and adopt a ready stance, knowing that this is not going to be a simple and easy fight. Something within you tells you that this individual is very much like you. They will not be a pushover. But you're committed now. You've made your choice, and there is no going back. With that, Cheese, the dream begins to fade, as now you have a lot more than you've ever had of it. It was a lot more real than it has ever been.
Oh joy. Uh, choose. Who is choose? Cheese.
Whoever
Jesus.
you choose to
Wakes
be.
up. Cheese wakes up with a start. She does not shout. There is definitely. She's definitely fighting back a scream. Um, and when she wakes up, she immediately checks her surroundings, and then she kind of like checks herself for injury or tampering.
No, you seem perfectly fine. This is the same feeling as the dreams you've had before. This feels more like a memory than a dream. Like this feels very real to you. But it has never been this clear, and this is more of it than you have ever seen. This is the first time you've heard a voice in it as well.
Cheese is gonna do is she's gonna sit in whatever moonlight is available.
At
And
this
kind of
point,
meditate.
it would
I
be
counted. It's been 8 days.
so. At this point, Cheese, it would be probably about 2 or 3 a.m.
At
in
a
the
half
morning.
moon. This would be about a half moon.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah. So it would
Appreciate
be
Oh no,
this would be about 1 or 2 in the morning.
um Cheese is just going to kind of sit outside of her
Right.
tent now, but
So hate to cut you off, but we're gonna move off as Cheese begins to exit the tent.
Ooh, we're all waking up at the same time. Hell yeah. Maybe.
All right, eeny, meeny, Corvus. So Corvus,
Ah.
you drift off to sleep, and you similarly as well have a very similar sensations as you drift to sleep. You know this sensation. You know this dream, this memory. So you begin to see it come once again come to life before you. you hear from your voice as you sit across from a rather well-dressed woman. Not quite, I wouldn't say noble, but I would say wealthy. She takes a sip of whatever drink it appears to be, most likely tea of some sort, but it's hard to tell. There's an assortment of rather nice food, but it's a rather small table, not especially fancy. She takes a sip of it as you begin to speak. Fail to understand your fascination with the humanoids, Relsarith. Sometimes I wonder if you wish to truly be one of them, instead of your own kin. She furrows her brow and glares at you. Clearly, very clearly catching your slip into a different dialect of your own tongue. What did I tell you about that? I don't appreciate being mocked with a dialect that you've never bothered to teach me. And you feel a deep chuckle build within you as you respond once again in the same tongue as her. Come, my friend. I only jest. Am I not allowed some fun of my own? I have a hard time understanding your fun. Though I suppose that's not unusual. You are an old man, after all. And I am young. Once again, my friend, you wound me greatly. Perhaps I shall come to visit you next time in that Waterdeep, you called it? Just make sure you come in disguise. They won't take kindly to you coming as you are. But where would be the fun in that? I swear you're going to make me have to move. I don't know why I continue to see you after all these years. And just as it always does, the conversation begins to fade from your ears. But this time it's far more vivid, far more real and clear. You have now a clear image of this woman's face. And a general feel of like, you could even feel the wood of the chair beneath you as you sat on it. Just sitting across the table from her. But at this point, you wake up.
Have awakened.
Sorry?
He just kind of awakens in his usual way, which is like a quick shimmy. Wake to just as a burst of adrenaline rushes through him. He's nice and perked up as he realizes he fell asleep. And as he has done many times, he wonders what he just saw, shakes his head, and decides to just keep watch while he's awake.
Alright. You hear Boy make a sort of grumbling noise as he moves closer.
Boy's over at Cheese right now. I lent Boy to Cheese because Cheese was having a bad day.
Yes. He has moved over here. He makes a sort of low grumbling noise as he sort of nudges into you.
Yeah, gives him a little pat on the head, like sort of a off pat on the head.
Boy trots a few feet away in this direction from you
I will.
and seems to kind of like wait for you.
Of course, will grab his spear and get low to the ground.
And with that, we're
And-
going to move on to other people. Sapphire.
I'm not second last.
Alphabetical, I think.
So, Sapphire, just as with everyone else, you feel yourself slip off into a deep slumber that would be restful if you didn't begin to recognize what comes next. You sit up in your perch in the trees as you watch a small band of elves. At least, that's what you think they are. It's hard to tell. You don't interact with them much in general. Or anyone, really. Not even members of your own kind. It's been a long time since you've even seen another one. But these elves don't act like a lot of other elves that come searching for you or ones like you. They don't come bearing weapons and torches. Matter of fact, they begin calling for you assume for you. They don't obviously know your name, but you would assume that Guardian of the Forest can only refer to you. There's nothing else that meets that description. Nothing that you know of. And they come bearing warning. Warning of hunters, mercenaries. It's hard to tell. You're not very well versed in their tongue, nor are they in yours. And the one that even seems remotely has a rather ugly accent to his voice that makes it sort of hard for you to fully understand him. But he has made the effort to learn, which is not common for elves. At least not those that you've met, which isn't many. You begin to think that perhaps it wouldn't do any harm to introduce yourself. After all, they don't seem harmful, only one of them carries any kind of weaponry, and it clearly is not meant to do any harm to you. After hemming and hawing for a bit, you make your decision. You reach out a hand, grab hold of one small vine, and slide gracefully down the tree, landing starkly in front of the elf at the lead, the one calling out in your own tongue. He stumbles back a few feet, clearly shocked, not expecting you to appear so close. Before he even has a chance to speak, you respond back yourself. Tell me, if you come looking for me to warn me, what do you desire from it? As he begins to straighten himself out to respond is when the dream begins to fade for you once again. But this is more than you've gotten before. It felt more real, and you could feel the bark of the trees and the wind on your face. You could hear the birds of the forest. And they were certainly birds that you have never heard before.
So Sapphire wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
She is excited and trying to contain her excitement because she knows her buddy is sleeping, but she wants to gush about it. But she wants him to let him rest, but she wants to gush about it, and she's just sitting up, bouncing her leg, contemplating whether or not to wake Florian.
As you contain and bounce your leg, you do see him start to stir and realize you're beginning to vibrate much of the tent.
Oh, I just kind of whisper, noticing that, and just grabbing my leg to stop it. Sorry.
Yeah. You begin to feel that if you're going to do that, staying inside the tent might not be the best idea.
I'll let you sleep. And I gently pat his head with my finger, very carefully, and go outside.
Okay.
Lessla.
And with that, yeah, Lessla. You're up next.
Yep.
So, Lessla. You, just as everyone else has, begin to feel yourself drift off, and it's certainly the same as it is, but You also begin to feel an intense heat as you do, and you begin to come to. You find yourself gazing out into what can only be described as a very harsh hellscape. What little ground you can see is on fire. The rest is largely magma, and the sky itself is orange and may even be on fire itself. Gazing through the flame and focusing, you begin to see the outline of several individuals. You know the leader well. You've been playing this cat and mouse game with him for some time, and his tenacity is to be commended. Many others would have given up long before him, and or failed to one of your machinations. But he is clearly skilled, very skilled, which would be concerning for you if you didn't know you already had the upper hand. It was clever sending a devil like this to the elemental plane of fire after you, but you have other tricks up your sleeve. Tricks that he is certainly not prepared for. You don't fear him, you pity him. You know why you're being hunted. You know why he has been sent after you. It's because someone far more important than him fears you. They fear what you are capable of and what you will be capable of. And this thought pleases you. Almost enough to distract you from what you're about to have to do. It's quite a shame, but this opponent you've come to enjoy this game with is about to become unsuitable to continue playing. And you feel a grin creep across your face as, with but a thought, you shift something from your hidden position, and you begin to eagerly watch ahead as the ground begins to rumble, and you can see for just the slightest instant that this devil knows he is lost. And that brings you so much satisfaction. And you wake up.
Well, that was unusual. And Lessla will, trying to maintain her composure as much as possible, sit up as she reaches out for her trinket to put it back inside of one of the many pouches that are inside her tent before crawling out and standing up.
And at that point, we're going to cut over to our last fellow tonight, Lyari.
Yo.
So, Lyari, as you drift off to sleep, which you're quite looking forward to, it's set to be a restful sleep with that does not promise a hangover when you wake, and one that was not induced by blunt force trauma. Yes, this will be a very welcome change of pace from what you've had over the past day or so. But as you drift off, it's not long before you begin to get a familiar feeling, but much more intense than it has been before.
Okay.
And you find yourself once again in that all too familiar dream. So you hear a sharp scream resonate within your very being. And it disturbs you. It unsettles you in a way that doesn't make sense, that you don't think you should be able to have. You're supposed to be above that. You're supposed to be better than that. But it's not the scream that bothers you, as much as it is that you know who it's from. Shock turns to denial. Denial turns into acceptance. Acceptance turns into sorrow and grief into burning, intense anger as you feel something removed from your face and you open your eyes to see your worst fears confirmed. Standing there is a very imposing looking demon. Spines and sharp and sticky bits coming out of every inch of it. And it cackles as it looks down at what you were really hoping you wouldn't see. There's a beautiful woman clad in a white formal gown, which itself is embroidered with patterns of leaves and flowers, snowflakes, all of which intermingle and shift that way that you have so come to know Fey clothing does. She lies motionless on the ground, this demon cackling above her. You begin to feel the anger well up in you. You begin to feel it twist and turn and hiss as you slowly, with all your might, force up one hand. The infernal and chaotic pieces of machinery still poking out of your flesh. You fight them as you force yourself to act, as you force yourself to go against the wishes of these machines that have been uh, scored into your very flesh, your very bones. The demon looks back at you for just a second as a bright flash of light erupts from your hand, streaking towards it and striking it dead center mass. Its sickening grin slowly wavering to confusion as it falls to the ground, a gaping hole in its chest, and ceases to move. You feel your rage begin to grow stronger and hotter as all the little tinier, lesser demons around you begin to panic and run. A few of them try in vain to gnaw at your ankles, but you swiftly kick them off or simply step on them. You will have vengeance for what has been done. You will not be controlled. You will not be tamed. They will know fear. And with that, you wake up, but not smoothly as you were expecting, as you usually do with these dreams. Even if they do leave you at the start, it is sudden and jarring as you realize that there's another individual in the tent with you.
Lyari grabs his sword.
Do you brandish it or just grab it?
He would probably brandish it because, like, what the fuck is someone doing in my tent?
Okay. You do so, and a armored hand parries it away ever so slightly, holding up a hand to you, and reaching out to you as a hand up. You may stay your blade, son of Ishtar. I mean you no harm. As your eyes begin to focus, you see standing before you what appears to be an elf of some sort, though the radiance that he is glowing with clearly hints at some other origin to him. But the elven features are still very prominent on him. At his hip is a brilliant sword with a golden hilt, and a shield is on his other hand, the one he is not extending to you. On it bear some symbols, but it's hard for you to see them at this angle. You can guess that they are religious in some fashion.
Who are you? Why are you in my tent? And what do you want?
I am not so much in your tent as I am in your mind. As for who I am someone who has neglected their duty for far too long. And for that I am sorry. I have been detained, but the time of that service has ended. And I must now return to yours.
Huh?
There is much I must speak to you on, son of Ishtar.
First, no. Second, get out of my tent.
I am once again not entirely in your tent. I am more so in your head.
Then get out of there too.
As much as you may not like to see me, and as jarring as it may be, I can assure you, I am only here in your best interest. I have a pact I have made long ago with your ancestors, and you are next in line to receive its benefit.
That's great and all. It's amazing. You know, good old thumbs up to my ancestors. But I have no connection to them. You can leave.
I'm afraid you are far more connected than you think. You carry their same divine blood in you.
I mean, if that's what you want, you could just take that. I don't
I
think
have
you
no
understand. I
desire
don't
for
really
it.
want that. Okay, then how about this? You're part of some pact with my ancestors or whatever. So do you have to do what I say, or like how does this work? Is there some type of like release? Do I need to like do something so you just leave me alone?
It runs far deeper than that. And I am willing to explain it to you if you would simply stop trying to send me off.
I think that sounds like a rather one-sided deal. I think I'll continue to tell you to leave me alone, and you're probably going to continue to ignore me.
Are you saying you've never wondered why you seem different from other Aasimar? Why
I'm
things
telling
seem more
you,
pronounced for you than they should?
I'm telling you, I don't care. It's all great, fine and dandy that I have divine blood or whatever, but not once has the people that gave me it actually been there, so I don't really want it. And to be honest with you, I don't really want you to be here, or this pact, or whatever. Ancestors are dead, gone. I literally don't even know their names. I would prefer it if you didn't remind me.
I will not remind you of the names of your forebears if you do not wish it. As for why they have not shown themselves within your life, it's very hard for a departed god to show herself where she is no longer welcome.
At that, Lyari just kind of laughs in his face. Yeah, departed god. Okay, great. I'm just delusional at this point. And he literally like rolls over like he's gonna go back to bed.
You may choose to ignore me all you wish, but in time, you will need to understand.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
will need to
whatever.
know the truth of the divine power that rests within you.
I have divine parents, whatever. This is clearly some extension of that like demon torturing me or something, whatever. Just leave me
I
alone.
can say I know nothing of any demon you speak of. But I can tell there is the scent of the infernal on you, as well as something else. Something ancient and primal. that rest within your soul. These three aspects should not coexist. It makes you very challenging to find.
I think I would have preferred it if you just weren't able to. Would you kindly leave me alone?
If that is your wish, for the time I will. But I must warn you, if I am able to find you, others already have. There are those who seek to vanquish any remnant of Ishtar. And you are sadly one such remnant, whether you like it or not. In time you will need my guidance. In time you will need to learn. As of now, it does not seem you are ready or willing. And I will leave you to your own devices. Until we meet again, son of Ishtar. And with that, you once again wake up.
Uh,
Well, night.
Yeah?
Just making sure you're still there. You went very quiet.
The
Yeah,
leadership
Lyari's
governor?
not doing it anything.
Okay. You're just sitting there lying awake in the bed?
Mm-hmm. Is that not
Okay.
your morning ritual?
I mean, fair. I will also say it's like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yep.
Alright then. With Lyari lying awake in bed, we'll cut to everyone else. As Sapphire, you come out of your tent. Lessla, you sit up from your tent. Cheese, you do the same. And Corvus, you get dragged over here, stalking with your spear raised, and you see just Cheese standing there.
I also want to point out how everyone either looks like terrified or something or other, and Sapphire's over here just like
Oh,
vibrating with excitement.
Corvus looks as he always does.
That's fair. Corvus is
Yeah.
stoic. Cheese is terrified. Lesla's trying to compose herself. Sapphire's just brimming with
Be
excitement.
fair, 3 of us had good dreams.
Yeah, as you all sort of come to terms with the situation, and Cheese, you notice everyone pretty much instantly as soon as you shake off the remnants of sleep. You hear Cheese, you specifically hear a gasp from inside this tent as Lara comes stumbling out.
Lessla, seeing this, is just going to, because she doesn't have glasses on right now because she doesn't actually need them, it's just going to rub her temple. She says this can't be a coincidence.
Right?
I mean, I
no.
definitely had one.
I'm gonna start looking around, see what's getting boil uppity.
See what?
What's getting boil uppity.
A boy is trying to lead you over towards Cheese.
Aww.
You
Corvus,
did tell him
give
to
me the
take care of
hug.
her.
Alright. He's trying to get me to go to Cheese.
Yeah, he's like motioning, like he's looking like concerned, like looking Cheese, looking at you. It's like he doesn't like. You told me to help this person, not know what do.
Oh.
I'm a dog. I'm not a
People kind of
doctor.
meeting in the middle right there.
He's
Pretty much.
actually he's smarter than a dog.
Yeah.
He has
That's
a
what,
full intelligence.
I
Or
ambush
indulgence.
people. I don't know how to ambush them with affection.
Does. That's my back.
Lessla will.
Just
Go.
cautious.
Lessla will. Once she's closer to the center and everyone approaches, she's gonna look to Laura and says, "Well, are you going to come over? Or are you just gonna stand over by the tent awkwardly?"
She looks up, sort of rubbing the area beneath one of her horns, sort of notices you all for the first time. Kind of realizes she's still just in her nightdress and reaches in for a blanket before joining you all.
Was fully dressed.
Lessla would also be in night clothes.
Same.
I have one outfit, and it is my everyday everything outfit. It smells horrible.
I would say Cheese is not wearing clothes, but she basically just immediately rolled over and went to bed as soon as they were done putting up her tent. So she was too tired. So she's still wearing her clothes, and she has her cloak on.
You also notice that you are very noticeable, quite noticeably missing one individual.
Yes.
Should we ask?
Well, if he doesn't want to come out of his tent, I don't think we should necessarily walk into a bard's tent.
I don't know what that means. I'm going to get
Of course, also has this expression of not understanding.
Yeah, you see Laura kind of look confused for a second and then turn a slightly brighter shade of red as she looks down.
Cheese goes over and she opens one of the tent flaps.
Silence from Lyari.
You have a
You see Lyari laying there, trying to go back to sleep.
Did you have a dream?
No.
Insight check.
Okay. You'll probably beat me, but it's fine.
Honestly, it's up in the air.
23.
9.
He's
I've had
not
enough
being
lies
entirely
from
honest with
today.
you.
I have had enough lies from you today. Get up, or I am dragging you out.
Oh, so we're gonna go sit in a circle, and everyone's gonna talk about their dreams and what boys they like. No, I'm good.
He's just gonna keep to a promise. She's gonna try and drag him out.
Okay. Lyari, are you trying to resist being dragged out of your tent?
Yes.
Okay. Are you just like trying to like grab onto stuff to keep from going out, or are you actually like kicking?
Preferably trying to dodge the grabs in the first place.
Okay. In that case, Cheese rolled a hit.
Oh.
Wouldn't it just be athletics against acrobatics?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, if Cheese is
Yeah.
trying to just grab him and he's trying to dodge, I'm gonna have Cheese roll to grab him first.
Which in that case, I'd be taking the dodge action, so it's at disadvantage.
Well, you're also prone, so it's neutral.
Yeah.
Would that just be like an unarmed attack, or what?
I would say so.
Okay.
Go cheese, go cheese.
I don't think that hits. I think you
it,
miss him.
It does not.
Though is Lyari sleeping in his armor?
Oh, it doesn't matter. 10 is
My
his
my
base
dexterity
AC.
is high enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, around you people, he does.
You, you wouldn't be. Remember when you're in if you cannot sleep in armor.
Medium or heavy?
In studded leather? Yeah, I can.
You can sleep in leather. You can sleep
Yeah.
in leather. It's medium or heavy. Light armor's fine.
Such a weird rule.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sleeping in leather armor doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world, to be honest with you. Probably
Considering
be like
it's supposed to be
sleeping in
like
jeans.
boiled leather, it would be very uncomfortable.
It'd be like sleeping in jeans. It's not great. It's not awful.
It would be more akin to
Well, it
sleeping in
works.
chaps, but it's still doable.
I've never worn
Uh,
chaps before, so.
Anyway,
They're just big old leather things that go over your legs.
Anyway.
But yeah, her ears flick back, and it's the first time you've seen real, like, anger from her.
If you want to live your life without answers, fine by me. But don't you dare lie to me again. Do you understand that?
I wasn't really lying. Technically.
I don't work on technicalities.
And she just walks away. And she looks angry.
Lyari will not be joining us this evening.
All right.
And Lessla will. Since none of us were keeping watch, there's probably no fire there, so I'm just gonna prestidigitate the fire to be on.
There's probably no firewood. It probably just burnt out.
yeah, I know it's smolders and embers by now.
Damn it!
What? If we
Druid
got,
craft
we would have a
some
fire,
type
but
of
it's,
way.
we no one got extra wood.
Anyway,
She's a little druid craft to make some kindling in the fire.
Okay, so small kindling appears in the fire.
Yeah.
It starts to smoke a little bit.
Lessla will look.
Whose face is smoke blowing in?
Nobody yet. There's not enough of it.
Okay.
Will look between everyone and says, I have, at the very least, shared with. Who have I shared the hypothesis that all of us are very similar?
I think most everyone here.
Yeah.
Everyone
I
except
just-
Lyari.
In
I
Corvus,
think it was
you have-
mostly
you have-
Sindris.
Everyone else
I-
just happened to be around.
I shared it with
Corvus
I shared it with Sindris. I shared it with Sapphire. I don't think I've shared it with Cheese.
Lessla and Corvus really don't talk very
Don't
often.
talk. That's why I know I haven't told it to you yet. You're
Yeah.
also not around when I talk.
That's
Good.
true. I do keep forgetting that.
Lessla will say is, well, I've been working on a running hypothesis that all of us, Lyari included, and she says that in a loud enough voice for him to hear, as well as Zafea, are all have similar natures. We've experienced what I can only label as similar experiences throughout our lives. And she'll look between everyone and says, is the first of which being that, generally speaking, people are uncomfortable around us for reasons which we cannot really explain. And I will look to Sapphire, Cheese, Corvus, and Laura in that order. Well, from Sapphire to Laura in that order.
Okay.
Laura, not Laura. Laura.
Mhm.
And this hypothesis was further supported by the song that Laura was humming when we first met her. And now this, not necessarily because I do not know the contents of your dreams, but this shared experience where we all had dreams on the same night, and though judging by our various reactions, they were very different dreams. we all had them at the same time. As well as when I was looking around via True Sight, our and she's actually struggling to put a word to it. Magical makeup is different from that of a normal person's. And that might be why that some of us, though while not innately magical, are capable of performing minor magics, such as, and Lessla will do Mage Hand and use it to pick up one of the embers and lift it up. This telekinetic ability that I have, or even the magical phenomena that I can perform that is similar to, I believe it is a spell of the evocation class of Hellish Rebuke. And she will stop talking there to let other people put their 2 cents in.
Probably head back to sleep. But travel.
Corvus.
Do none of you care for answers?
I mean, I do.
What did you see?
What did you see?
Lessla is
Cheese's
just
ears
going
kind
to
of-
face palm.
Cheese's ears flick back a little bit. She shrinks into herself politely, but she's gonna.
Sapphire does frown seeing that, realizing not everyone's dreams are
Shadow, can you move the Drake so it's bang its head onto lap?
Oh,
On whose lap?
cheese.
Cheetahs.
Cheese gently puts her hand in his head and kind of strokes him.
The dream that I had was a familiar one, but there was more this time.
And she'll kind of explain the running through a hallway with windows and different scenes and getting to the one that she preferred, that she likes the most, watching, and then she explains how this time what was new, she broke through the window to protect the two and fight against this person or creature or whatever it was. Predator.
You did get a good look. It did look like a person.
Okay.
When you finally saw him.
Whoever it was dangerous, and I knew it. I was prepared to fight for him, and then well, had far too many visions today for this to be a coincidence, I hope.
I assume Cheese is looking at Sapphire, expecting her to, talk now.
Cheese looks down for a little bit, like into the fire, and then she'll, after a couple of moments of silence, she'll look back up at Sapphire and nod to her.
Well, I do have a theory about my own dream that is something I only really share between myself and my brother. But my dream involves me in a perch in a forest, seeing elves walking in. I get the sense that this is my forest, and for some reason, I don't really interact with people. Elves, other mortals, even my own kind. And Sapphire looks confused when she says that because she's not entirely sure what she is in that dream. But they've always seemed to come with warnings. This time in my dream, it came so far as to have me go down to meet with them and speak with them. All that I could make out, really, was I asked them, and I'm so glad I typed this out, I asked them if they came looking for me to warn me what they desired in return. And then I woke up.
It is part of, for lack of better term, reincarnation before. Is it that or something else? I don't know. I'm tired of not knowing.
Sapphire just kind of nods in agreement.
It's just as you two are talking, as each of you are talking, Corvus is studying each of your faces as you are describing everything, and his eyes sort of return back to the smoldering flame. When you're done talking.
Cheese looks distressed and subdued.
So, I found that when you are confused about something, meditations counter. Organize your thoughts. He shrugs, finishing his explanation.
I've meditated long enough. I've spent my entire life ruminating on this. I've had nothing.
Do you have any identifying landmarks in any of these dreams of yours? Ways that you could identify the locations if we were to search for them? Mountains in the distance, star constellations above you.
Forest with a small clearing, a well in the center.
Out of character, I assume mine was just like a thick forest where you can
It
really
is, it is a very thick forest,
Yeah.
yes.
Mine was just really a thick forest. You couldn't really see the sky from the ground. But I could hear birds that I've never heard before.
It would indicate that your wherever you were, it's not the birds are of a different.
Are foreign, yes.
Shadow, I have a question.
Mhm.
how I felt in the dream. My more awareness of myself. Did it feel similar in some ways to when I was in that mountaintop? Sort of like
No,
being more. Cause that's like no. Okay.
no, that was more. That was more an active experience. This is more like reliving a memory.
Got it. I was wondering if like there was this feeling of like this connection.
Yeah, no, there's not really a connection
Okay.
between.
No, it's really this is really like because I'm messing with very like not actual things. It's all ethereal. It would be very weird to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Or were you given any names, people that we could try and track down through records?
No.
Sapphire just shakes her head.
What about you, Laura? What did you see? Shadow?
Sorry,
Half a
looked
day.
away for. Yeah, no, sorry, looked away for half a second. Muted myself, and then you asked me a question. Please repeat it.
What did you see, Laura?
I was just walking up a storefront and well, a group of thugs tried to jump me and I did something. They suddenly looked really, really scared. I've never been to the city it was from.
Do you know what city it was?
No, I didn't see a name of anything. I saw I think a symbol for the shop, but it wasn't really clear. I think it was my shop or its shop.
So you felt like the shop was yours, like I felt like the forest was mine then.
She nods.
Hmm. Could you at least draw out the symbol? Or as best you can.
I didn't really get a good look at it. I just kind of saw it on the edge of the reflection of a sign. It looked like maybe part of a scale. And she makes like a sort of back and forth motion with her hands, like an actual like scale, not a dragon scale.
Yeah. Hmm. Would it have been on the shop itself or on another nearby building? Because a scale is a common representation for some gods, even civic buildings.
I think it was on the shop, but I don't know.
And then I'll look to Corvus and say, is there any worthwhile information from your dream?
Jesus. only out here. This Drake. The Drake dragged me here. Thought there was something attacking.
Did you have a dream?
Doesn't answer.
Insight.
I mean, I'm doing the same, really.
Just doesn't answer.
I mean,
We can read her expression, damn it.
Making sure I'm not at
doesn't
an
matter.
advantage by accident. Fuck.
Okay, I'm really bad.
The smoke is going in my eyes. That's what's happening.
I guess we figured out who the smoke is going for.
Yeah.
Oh,
The thing is, if Sapphire gets up to move, it's gonna follow her, and she knows that.
wait, why is it not coming through? I rolled it at
What is
20.
It.
There's no proof of that.
I'll just say it. It's like you guys can kind of read on Corvus a little bit.
You guys. I
Yeah.
got smoke in my eyes.
It is the look of a person who doesn't want to say something. In fact, there's a very familiar look to you, Cheese, because you saw it earlier. Only before you saw, he kind of allowed himself to talk. This is he doesn't want to tell. And you can see by the way his eyes are shifting to Lessla, he doesn't want her to know.
Understandable. Have a good day. Except I can't read that. I'm
Yep.
currently blinded by smoke.
She's recognizing this. Glances ever so quickly to Lessla. And then nods. Doesn't say anything.
Fuck all of you. Anyway, Lessa will just kind of cross her arms. She says, well, I was hoping that there might be some common factor within the dreams, something that we could investigate. Seems like
What did you see in yours?
my dream wasn't even on this plane of existence.
Where was yours?
Are you familiar with the plane of elemental fire?
Okay then. Weird.
Corvus's brows just furrow. Like, huh. Like, odd.
Weird, but okay. And what was happening in the plane of fire?
Well, long and short of it really was that I was evidently, or whatever being that this dream made me, was playing with a devil that, and supposedly the game was over. And the devil was going to be no more. Although, by knowledge, it's if you kill a devil, they just get sent back to the 9 hells. So if I was going to end it, so if the person was going to end it, I would kill them there, and then plane ship to the 9 hells to kill them there. And evidently I was enjoying myself very much.
Okay then.
All this does is give me more questions, and I'm tired of it.
I'll do a quick watch. You ladies head there. I'll get the fast.
Corvus, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I can go back to sleep at this point.
Looks over her. How And I know you're going to say, "Oh, I'm not tired at all," but mind and body work differently. Your body may feel up, but it will crash. I'm trying to gauge how close to crashing she.
You've all at this point gotten the equivalent of a long rest. You're all fine.
Okay. Okie doke. Yeah, okay, so Corvus will gauge she's in pretty.
It doesn't particularly matter. Our bodies are rested, and whatever this dream was seems to have invigorated our ability to think again. More than likely, we'll just have to fix our sleep cycles over the next few days. It's not something I haven't dealt with over the past 6 years.
Speaking of being up now, Lyari, go ahead and roll me I'm going to say it's a wisdom save to try and force yourself to go back to sleep.
Sure. Wisdom save. I'm not
Sleeping
very good at
through
those.
raw willpower.
That's not enough in this circumstance. Considering that your previous attempt at rest was a drunken-induced coma.
I must sleep. Where are the melatonins?
You know,
I'm
it's
sorry,
funny.
there are no melatonin gummies here.
Corvus probably has one.
I tried to give you tea, but you were like, nah.
That's right. You started the RP. and
No,
nothing.
I saw that and then I forgot about it. I'm sorry.
I honestly, I thought, is this just Knight being really
It's
weird?
just
That
Knight
it's like
being nice.
because part of me thought it was because Knight wasn't there for the session. I was like, I'm not getting involved. I don't know what happened. Just
Well,
walks
number
away.
one, I have literally no idea what happened, and number two is I've been busy. Like
Yeah, no,
I had an interview
I
today,
understand.
so
No
Bro.
blame here. I just thought it was fun.
I have been doing shit all day. I'm so
But
fucking
I need to
Corvus-
stop
tired.
bouncing my leg.
As Corvus, Corvus acknowledging that, yeah, okay, we're probably just gonna have to busy ourselves a little bit. He starts walking to get firewood because it's cold, everyone.
Mhm.
But as he disappears around the tree here, Cheese, you hear in your head that I can do that. We might talk later.
She's, I don't know if this works or not, but she's will
Yes, you
attempt
can respond.
to...
You can respond as a whisper.
Okay. It's a whisper.
Yeah, you can whisper.
Yeah, you do actively have to move your mouth.
Don't worry, you're the only one with observant.
Cheese is going to stand and say, "All right, I'm going to wash myself."
And Sapphire, in your head, was his voice, which he comes to say, "Don't react." Before anything happens, very, very much knowing that this is weird and that he can do this.
The only reaction Sapphire has is just kind of like perking up a bit, like, oh, okay. But there is also fire smoke in her eyes, so it could just be that. to anyone on the outside.
Immediately failed the first instruction.
Don't react.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to react to someone just suddenly in your head going, "Hey, don't react."
Don't react.
Something's gonna happen. But Sapphire is currently combating campfire smoke, so she can play it off.
Yeah, don't react. And then there's just I might be able to. And then just continue.
I'm sorry, you said might be able to help.
Might be able to help.
Sapphire resists the urge to look in the direction Corvus went, and then is just instead going to get up and she's gonna hang out in a tree away from the fire because it's been a while since she climbed a tree. She's just gonna hang out in the tree and swing her legs and look at the night sky.
I guess it's pretty easy to find some dry wood and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, very easy.
I come back, not like a couple of minutes. I come back and just pop some fire, some wood into the fire, and then I go over to the thing I did label as the firewood box. It was labeled, someone removed the label, so no one knows where that square is now. I put some extra firewood in there as well.
I mean, this is also firewood.
Yeah, but this is a box. Keep it from the rain if it rains.
Okay.
Right. So
We can also just prestidigitate things to not be.
Shush. I am a survivor man. I do survival things.
What is this prestidigitation you
Doesn't
speak
half
of?
the party have that
That's
spell too?
cheating.
It's at least 3.
I do.
of us.
I know I do.
How
Yeah.
how far down is that embankment, Shadow?
The embankment into the river?
Yeah.
Very shallow.
Okay. Just Corvus sees that, turns away, and
So yeah, no. Cheese would basically walk into the water. Cheese about here is only about up to not even quite her waist yet.
Oh, she'll get
I
into where
can-
it's. She'll, I guess, just stand in the middle.
Yeah, no, you kind of have to. You have to crouch down too to like fully submerge.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's
She's
cool.
okay with like being on her little deer knees.
Just
And
You
Corvus-
gotta crouch down a little bit
very-
more than that to do it.
Oh,
It's not a
really?
very deep river. Yeah, it's not a very deep river. Not in this part. It gets
Yeah.
deeper as you get
Sapphire's,
over
like,
here.
right here in a tree.
So Corvus just seeing bathing Cheese will politely turn his attention away and then move back to his meditation spot to begin meditation.
Yeah.
Okay. Where you still have a perfect view of cheese.
I have just a little bit of a tree, and I'm not focusing on that. I'm like
He's
looking
turning
at
away.
Corvus is
Jesus,
Okay,
facing.
Jesus
respectful.
turned away. Jesus turned
Respectful.
away.
Jesus facing here. Sapphire's looking at
Yeah,
the
Jesus.
sky through the trees. Tree.
I will
It's fine,
say that
it's fine
he's-
if someone's bathing in a river and you walk on them as long as you're respectful about it. It's all fine.
I'm
Yeah.
going to use
Cheese is
encode.
no. Drake has still orders to comfort Cheese. Are we hanging around her?
You know, it would be much easier for you, Shadow, if you just gave Corvus control of Boy's token.
I should do that.
But Lessla is going to return to her tent, and she's going to use encode thoughts to pull a memory strand from her mind. Because I'm a wizard, I can switch out my cantrips on the long rest.
Yes, you can.
And she's just going to review the dream that she saw by grasping onto it. It glows dimly in the darkness. So
Okay.
anyone that happens to walk by would obviously see that she has the memory strand. Although not many people would. Although I don't think many people would actually know what it is.
No, it's just like, oh, something magic.
magic thing.
I could make cantrip scrolls of encode thoughts.
You could.
It'd be really funny. Anyway.
But yeah, Jesus
Just being
washing
splashed.
herself. She's being splashed by Boy.
He's just zooming.
He's swimming.
Cheese will kind of play with him in the water a little
Yeah,
bit.
he's having fun. He seems to really enjoy it.
He swims like a crocodile.
It's
Oh,
real
it's so
unnerving.
cute.
He also, yeah, he's just it's not like he seems to enjoy the bath.
Yeah. Cheese every once in a while will just stop and look at the half moon.
Yeah. Leslie will probably wait until it's closer to actual daylight to take her own bath because Lessla can't see in the dark.
Get rolled, loser.
It's very hard to clean yourself when you can't see.
Meditation is just funny. It's the other thing. He's focusing on the dream, but he's also focusing on the words that were spoken to him earlier that day, by the Goliath man,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to figure out if he can question that Goliath man. He's trying to go, basically reach out and try to ask questions in this
Okay.
meditation.
Go ahead and roll me just a wisdom check.
So this will fail, but that's what we do. We practice.
Oh, damn.
Okay. So, Corvus, you focus really hard
Mm.
and try to. You try to bring yourself back to that
Yeah.
same spot. You try to just once again conjure the image. After a moment,
Aha! See, I showed you as the avatar. I imagine I feel the presence in front of me as I'm meditating.
he's sitting there in the exact same position as you, with an eyebrow raised. He also towers over you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Is he semi-corporeal, or is it like he's corporeal enough?
You can see him solid.
Okay, I know he's not.
Yes. Beck.
I was gonna say that's not Goliath. That's a Ratataki image.
Hush.
Hush.
It was.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
used a lot in the Star Wars community.
Huh?
That one specifically.
Again, I said it was. Yeah, he sits there and just stares at you.
I will attempt to just think the words rather than speak out loud. My apology. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm thinking.
You're thinking this at him?
Yes. Because he's from my soul. But I'm hoping I don't need to actually directly communicate. So if I need to, I'll whisper at him. But I'm just testing it.
Mm-hmm.
See if it works.
I'm right here.
Let's respond.
What was that?
He does respond to my thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Balls. You know what just happened.
I've got an idea.
The other is what you meant by others like me.
Yeah. A lot more than I ever encountered. And then again, maybe I just didn't know it. It's possible that only now are they getting to the level that we're at. That you were at.
I'm at.
You've had plenty of lifetimes to get to this spot. You honestly think that none of us tried before you did? To understand what you saw?
And what you sorry? What sorry?
No, you honestly think none of us tried to do what you did? To understand what you saw?
Believe you did. I believe y'all did. I have to remember he's Southern American. I believe what y'all did. Question is, can the others do this?
He shrugs.
Why can I? What is this?
Honestly, I ain't got any idea. None of us had any idea. We're still trying to work that out.
Who were you?
I was a mercenary, a soldier, and eventually I retired and decided I wasn't too interested in people anymore. I finally started listening to the voices. Might have been able to get where you are if I'd listened a lot sooner. You got at least a couple decades on me, though.
You do what I do.
In a sense.
Or what was it? Monk?
I learned exactly what you learned. Except I didn't really have a scroll.
No.
Kinda just figured it out. Listened to the voices a little bit. The others, they helped me along.
So I can do this because all of you could do it.
No, you can do it 'cause you learn. We've all just happened to learn the same studies.
How
Like
does
we're
that work?
must be drawn to it somehow. Else if I know.
How far did you get?
Bit farther than you. About as far as the last guy. Might have gotten farther if I hadn't been so headstrong. Had more time. Focused more.
Cutoff point. Only so much I can learn before I become.
I stopped learning when I reached the end of my life. That's how everyone's gotten. But everyone's learned more than the last. Except me. And again, probably only my own fault.
And I'm guessing you can't just tell me everything you know.
Ain't gonna make sense if I do.
I'm used to things not making sense.
I also don't know much more than you do.
No. No, we reincarnate. No, we wield the power of a dragon in our fist. No, we don't like being around people much.
More like people don't like being around us.
Why that is.
No idea. I always just assumed it was because I was big and scary, but learned there was a bit more to it. Looking up at him, he is a Goliath. He is big and scary.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Nonsense. He's friend shaped.
It's friendship. What of the others? I help them.
You can talk to them in time. Gotta focus a lot more, though. Gotta take a lot more time to learn. It's not a quick process.
After today, I don't think I have much time.
Why you think that is?
There's a fight coming. I can feel it in my bones. I'm no fighter.
You're learning how to be one. And if there's a fight coming, you're caught in the middle of it, you better learn real quick. You might not have any kind of choice now, but to be a fighter. Hells, you're pretty good at it so far.
Anytime I've tried to fight, I've almost lost my life. How's that pretty good?
You made pretty short work of a lot of them before you got to that point. And there ain't nothing normal about that golden scaled lizard freak.
Kind of looks around a little bit to the rest of the back at the camp, looking back at him. There's two here. They want to know things. Don't suppose you know if they can talk. So they're last.
Hells if I know about what's going on in their head.
The reason I feel I want to help them.
That's your decision. That's your feelings to make you want to do that. Nothing
My
to do
feelings.
with me.
What good have my feelings ever done for me?
You got no self-esteem, do you?
You know my life, right? See my memories.
Yeah. Got plenty of reason to feel sorry for yourself. Won't deny that.
Jesus Christ.
But you
Arthur,
gotta decide if you want to be a coward and go on doing it.
I'm no coward.
Cowards run when they can fight. When they
Idiots
know they got a
die when they can
chance.
run.
The difference is, one only runs when they have to. The other runs 'cause it's easy. And I got news for you. End of the day, consequences of running ain't easy. That you gotta learn. That I had to learn. That's why I started fighting, got stubborn.
Are you alone?
For a long time. Thought folks was scared of me. Probably were. Pushed them all away. Don't do the same.
Don't want. I endanger everyone close.
You sure you bring the danger? Any more than any of them do? Strength in numbers, my friend.
Aware of that. And rubs one of his legs.
So you can go on and run thinking it's going to be the easy thing to do. You can get away and get out. Go move on, do something new. Hope that none of the hornet's nests you kicked up here ever goes and finds you. And worry every day about whether or not they found any of them. Or you can stick around. Have a peace of mind that they're still around. Have peace of mind that you got others who are gonna have your back in the fight when it does come. Maybe learn a thing or two. Ain't my choice to make. Only yours.
There's a long pause. Thank you.
Sounds awfully weird when you go and thank someone who shares the same soul as you. Kind of like thanking yourself.
Get the trust. I've learned to rely on myself a lot. But part of me,
You ain't wrong. Not by a long shot.
wasn't it you who told me that you listened to the voices quick enough?
So you were listening. That's good. Keep that up. Start listening to more than just yourself. Your heads ain't the only place voices come from. Some of them out here are a lot smarter than us.
Did he die for anyone else?
No.
Are you
Said some
dead,
voices are
Shadow?
smarter than
No,
some
I'm
voices are
alive.
smarter than others. That was what he
Okay.
said.
Okay.
Because I didn't immediately respond. That's why you think there's a
Oh,
silence.
sorry.
Mm. Don't suppose you can give me any extra tips how to use more of this power. Looks at his hand.
You gotta focus on how you want it to come out. If you wanna zap someone, fry them, melt them, or just make them real sick. You don't think about it as you're doing it. It's gonna keep being wild and dangerous. And as fun as that is to watch, not gonna do you much good surviving.
He kind of shoots a glance over at Cheese. And turns back to him. No. Let's hope this bunch won't be my end.
Let's hope not.
And Corvus will nod his head and dismiss him. Can. Not fuck. I'm always here now.
You got like a
Yeah,
little
no, you
person.
you
over your
close your
shoulder.
eyes and nod, and when you open it back up, he's vanished.
I will say that when you looked over at Cheese, she would have had her hair over one shoulder as she was washing it, and you saw a tattoo down the center of her back, like along her spine.
How dark is it?
Pretty. Well, it's a half moon.
There's a fire,
Glistening
but I
on
don't know
a
how bright
frame.
the fire is.
The fire's Cheese is far enough away from the fire that it doesn't much
Yeah,
matter.
okay.
And behind a
Mm.
tent too.
I don't think Corvus can see the tattoo.
Yeah, I don't think you can see the tattoo. Damn
No.
it!
Alright, it's not my fault. It's lighting stuff.
You
why I
chose
had
where to
that.
put it, Marin.
Yeah.
Knowing full well what it would take for someone to see it.
I'm aware. My own fault.
I had to make sure that I could actually see it, but not bright enough. If it was dim light, I could see it, but it's not.
I would say it actually is dim light.
Okay, then I could probably see it.
Probably not well, but you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I can kind of see. I can't see colors.
Well, good thing for you, it's just white.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make out the rough shape. Not the fine details, but the rough shape.
Of course.
I think that is where I'll call it for tonight.
Alrighty.
Sorry about
I'll
that,
try
everyone.
round number 2 with my book next time then. I want to hear the voices again.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh, you're
Kinda-
fine.
I just
You're
grabbed
fine.
everything.
No, you're good.
Fine.
Be the
Alright, with that, we'll call it there here for today. As always, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. And remember to stay frosty. For those of you watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe and ring that notification bell to get more content like this in the future. And if you wish to support us or our artists, please view the links down in the description below.
us and turned me into such. All you granted me was lust. And what I seemed to have grown was rust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? Might and not angels' wings have been bruised and we stray. Those who break to blood are so fiends in vain. So believe in me and collect. I'm your leader today. Rise! So scream for me, little glass and turned me into such. All you granted me was lust. And what I seem to